Hey everyone, Kimberly Olson here, and I have special guest Vanessa Moyers. Welcome on, Vanessa. I'm so excited for book launch day. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is absolutely a dream come true for us to be able to bring your book into the world. And I'm excited to share with my audience and your audience about this book, about you, how it came to be, and all the things. So we're going to dive in. And I also want to tell you congratulations on becoming a published author today.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on being an advocate for all the mamas out there. And for those of us that have struggled with some of the things that we're going to talk about today, and just being faithful and committed to this calling on your heart to bring this book into the world, I am just so proud of you and honored to be a part of your journey. So let's get into it. So we wanted to let everybody know we're going to do a promotion today only. So for those of you that are just joining us, say hello in the comments, give Vanessa some love, and we're going to be talking about neurodiversity. And I'm so excited to talk about this because I feel for me, I've never been equipped to talk about it. And as you talk about in the book, it's been taboo. It's been, walking on eggshells. It's been just not good feelings around this conversation. And it is time to blow that out of the water, leave that behind, and have healthy conversations around this because it's actually a beautiful thing when people are neurodiverse. I'm neurodiverse. And for the longest time growing up, it was always be quiet, you're too much. Always got in trouble for asking why. And the teachers are like, just shut up and do your homework. And I'm like, but why? Like, why that? So when I was reading your book, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me and this is one of my daughters. And it's so beautiful. So anyways, I'm rambling because I'm such a fan and I'm so excited about this. But say hello in the comments. Let Vanessa know where you're tuning in from. How many of you are excited to have this conversation around neurodiversity? How many of you are neurodiverse? You're impacted by neurodiversity. Maybe you're a teacher, an educator. Maybe you have kiddos that fall into this like description, and maybe you don't know what it is. I heard the term a few years ago, and I was like, tell me what that is. Maybe this is all new to you. We want to celebrate where everyone's at. We want to come together and really bring this knowledge to the world. So we're going to do a promotion because Vanessa is so awesome. Everybody who grabs the book today, Team Gold Digger, can you guys drop the link so everyone can go grab it? After you grab the book, don't leave the live stream, just pull up your Amazon app. After you grab the book, I want you to come back in the chat so Vanessa will know later when she combs through the comments. Let her know you grabbed the book. All you have to do is get the paperback or the Kindle. And the Kindle is free today. So literally no excuses. And she priced it at $10. So this is just accessible for everybody, right? Don't buy your overpriced vanilla latte this week and you'll be able to pay for your book, okay? So the team is dropping the link there. You might have to copy and paste the URL. What we're going to do just today only, if you grab the paperback or the Kindle, you are going to get the Mama's Toolkit. It is jam-packed with valuable resources. How to nurture your child's passion without losing your sanity. Really wish I would have had that when my youngest was younger. The Mama Festo Mindset Reset, the Independence Builder Kit, Choose Your Calm Playroom Blueprint Pack, Mama Self-Care Survival Kit, the Boost Basket Blueprint, the Calm Mama Reset Kit, Meltdown Reset Plan, and the one-page advocacy snapshot. You guys, the value of this is hundreds of dollars, and she's giving it to you guys because she wants to equip you. We want to rally around her today and make this book launch successful. Okay, I know, totally awesome. So all you have to do is grab the paperback or the Kindle or both. The Kindle is free today, and please leave her a review. So let's jump into the book. Let's jump into how this all came to be. And I'm just excited for them to hear a bit more about you, Vanessa. So the title, Neurodiversity is Our Superpower, is very powerful. You guys see, look at the cover. How much do you guys love this cover? What does this phrase mean to you personally? And what do you hope readers will take away from it, Vanessa?
Well, when my son was first being evaluated for autism, I disappeared into a rabbit hole of research. Every single word I heard for the first time, that became at night's 3 a.m. crash course. And that's when I came across that word, neurodiversity. At first, I thought it was just a buzzword, a pretty label for something huge and heavy. But then I learned what it actually meant. It just meant different. And it's a concept that differences how the brain works are just that. It's differences, not deficits. It sees autism, ADHD, dyslexia, things like that as just very natural variations on how the brain actually works, not problems that need fixed. Neurodiversity is actually a term that was coined in the 1990s. It was to challenge the stigma and promote the acceptance of neurodiverse individuals. It's actually a social justice movement that seeks equity and understanding and advocacy in changes in the workplace, in the school place, on the playground, in the classrooms, to make them more inclusive. And that's what I mean by superpower. And I have big hopes for this book. I hope every reader walks away knowing that they have permission. You have permission to drop the guilt, rewrite the rules, and raise neurodivergent kiddos with pride, not apology.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's a huge shift in perspective if you think about it. It's being able to embrace instead of kind of have this, putting a wall up or that's different or what is that. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this is that we talk about inclusion and we talk about diversity. And this is a perfect example of where that is appropriate because it is often misused in our society, especially where, here. And I believe that, when it comes to diversity and people being different and everyone is uniquely made down to the hairs on your head, every single one of us have been created by God. And so how could anybody say that that wasn't beautiful, And I think, we have to think about the impact that this has on kids and as they go into adulthood of the stigma around it, but also how it makes them feel and not understanding, what's going on. And we'll talk a bit about that, but also that if your brain works differently and we're being told that we have to be this certain way, that isn't going to work. If your brain works differently and people are telling you to act a certain way, be a certain way, you're not going to be able to do that because your brain works differently. And I'm telling you what, because we have a whole audience of entrepreneurs, do you all feel as if your brain works differently? Like, where are my entrepreneurs? Like, our brains just work differently. And that's a whole pool of people, right? So everybody, if you're normal, your brain is working a certain way. So it's more honoring our gifts and honoring how we operate and honoring the individual. I think that's really what it comes down to. So if you guys are just joining us, say hello in the comments. We are celebrating Vanessa's book launch today, and Neurodiversity is Our Superpower. It's for everyone. Okay. Grab this book. She has a free Mama's Toolkit for you. All you have to do is reach out to her or comment here and just say you grabbed the book. We have the paperback today or Kindles. The Kindle is actually free for today only. So if you guys want to grab that and hit that share button, by the way. Do you have moms in your audience? Do you have teachers in your audience? Do you have church leaders in your audience? Anybody who is around a lot of different people, right? They're around groups. Please share this because this is about educating. That's really what Vanessa's doing. She's educating and she's equipping. So Vanessa, talking about parents, teachers, leaders, we often hear about challenges around ADHD, around autism, other neurodivergent experiences. How can we start shifting the narrative towards celebrating those strengths instead? Like, how can we see things differently the way that you're describing it?
Well, first we need to clarify, it's not the kids that need the narrative shift, it's us, we do. The world loves to call ND traits too much, as you said. You're too loud, too stubborn, too distracted, too emotional, too sensitive. Cool, but here's what I see. You say too loud, I say fearlessly expressive. I see a child who refuses to shrink themselves for anyone. You say too stubborn, I say unshakably determined. I see a kid who knows what they need and won't be pushed off their path. You say too distracted, I say deeply curious. I see a brain that sees possibilities everywhere, not just where adults expect. You say too emotional, I say deeply connected and intuitive. I see a child who feels with their whole heart reads the room better than most adults do sometimes. You say too sensitive, I say exceptionally perceptive. I see a nervous system that notices what others miss: textures, tones, shifts, energies, everything. Meltdowns, that's a nervous system begging for safety. Hyperfocus, that's genius loading. Strong opinions, that's leadership and training. And passions, oh, passions, that's joy and learning and connection. Our job isn't to tone them down, it's to turn up the support so they can shine.
Amen. I just grabbed the book, Cynthia. Thank you. And I love what April said about that. Is Proverbs 22:6, train a child up the way that he should go. And I believe that God has given us the children that he has given us. He's chosen us to be their parents, obviously. And I always thought to myself, because I have a strong-willed blessing, and I was a strong-willed blessing, but in my generation, they weren't very in tuned. And so it was just like, be quiet. Anyone else, like, be quiet, stop asking your questions. But me, I'm more aware and want to, shine as far as like how I'm showing up. And I feel like it's just more, it's more accepted today to like dive into personal development and things like that. I just don't think our parents were equipped. Anyways, I remember thinking as I was raising up this strong-willed child, and she may watch this one day, Facebook will take it down at that point. But either way, I would be fine with her seeing this, that I always thought to myself, I'm so glad that God gave her to me, because this would be difficult in another household, if people weren't understanding. And I personally have had a somatic coach, which in that process, we spent a lot of time on how I was parenting her, because she would not. So if you just say, calm down, she was like, do not say that to them. And you talk about that in the book. You don't tell them to calm down, because literally her nervous system didn't have the capacity to cope with the situation. So I want you to think about this. We have these toddlers, and then 5 years old, 6 years old, teenagers who are supposed to handle things and just figure it out. No, like, they need that safe place. They need to understand. And for a lot of you going into adulthood, you never learned how to feel safe, and you never learned how to understand your nervous system is telling you that you're overloaded, you're overstimulated. When people feel anxious, it's just a feeling that they have. It's their body is telling them, I'm not okay right now. So I'm so glad that this book is getting out there, because, oh my gosh, if I would have had your book as a young mom, knowing that, what I was going to navigate and how to handle that, it would have saved so many struggles at bedtime, me feeling not equipped, what's wrong with me, all the things. And now I can see she is a leader. She is very, very perceptive. She's quiet, and she'll watch, and then she'll say something to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you picked up on how I was feeling. You picked up on how that person was feeling. Like, her perception, it gives me chills. Like, holy cow, wise beyond her years. And she is so tenacious. She will make Canva PowerPoint presentations, full books on her case for why she should get a loft bed in her room. Like, it just blows my mind. So anyways, I just had to share that with you, because I can totally relate to that for myself personally, but also, for being a mom with a strong-willed blessing. So let's talk about all of the incredible kids you've met, the families that you've met through your work. Can you share like a story or a moment that like just moved you deeply, that really shaped how you see neurodiversity? Because I'm sure you were riding solo. It sounds like those 3 a.m. sleepless nights were very isolating, I'm assuming. And we've talked a little bit before, but where did it shift, where you started realizing like, oh, I'm not alone. This is a real thing. And what kind of bring us into your experience of how that happened for you?
Well, at the beginning, my son was home with me. We used birth to 3, and that was my world. But when he first started preschool, that was my first real experience seeing other ND kiddos outside of just my family. I saw them being forced to exist in a box that wasn't made for them, clearly. Think square peg, round hole. And
Yes.
I saw them being punished for drowning. I saw meltdowns on the regular being met with rigid rules that never worked. A meltdown is not disrespect. It's the brain saying, this is too much, and the only language it has left. I used to react out of panic too. But then I remembered something one of my son's therapists taught me. Once I started seeking the need behind the behavior, everything changed. My kid didn't need to be controlled. He needed connection. He needed safety. He needed me. So that fire, the one that refuses to let kids be misunderstood, that's the fire that built the Momafesto method. I want ND mamas armed and dangerous. I want them dangerous to shaming, dangerous to outdated systems, dangerous to anyone who underestimates their kid.
I love that. Can you tell everyone, remember when we chatted and it was something, I was trying to remember this and I meant to ask you, I think you were in the hallway. It was like after a school meeting or something, and your son, you had a moment with him where he was telling you how he perceived you. Can you tell them about that?
I've self-coined the term for myself as the badass mama, because my son, we were getting ready for an IEP meeting, and he was really worried because things weren't working in the classroom.
And what kind of meeting is that? What's that stand for?
Individual education plan program, depending on your school, what they call it. But it's
okay. It's a meeting about him and how he was doing in school.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
And that's okay. He was worried that I wasn't going to be able to make a difference for him. And I just stopped and I looked at him and I said, have I ever failed you? Have I ever not fixed something that needed fixed for you so you could shine? And he said, no, you're a badass. He was about 9 years old when he said this.
I love that story so much. And that's like where it all came to be, where you realized, okay, this is the most important person. And you have 2 kiddos, obviously, but he was the first one you were navigating this with. And to see how he saw you, and you knew that was the most important person on how they saw how you were handling everything and leading, guiding, and him to say that to you, it gave you identity to say, I'm a badass. Oh my gosh. I love that story so much. That's the best. Okay. So what are a few practical things parents or caregivers can do? Also teachers, those that are leading, that can better support neurodivergent children in their daily lives, or I would say adults as well, because I also think, like I said, I feel like it definitely carries into adulthood of even, saying I feel like women hear this more, but you're too emotional, you're too sensitive. Like me, if we're watching Full House and somebody's upset, I am instantly in tears. Like I can literally feel their sadness. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, but people perceive it as she's too emotional. So I think this really is a conversation for everyone. I know I keep saying that, but can you talk to us about that? What are some practical things that we can do right now to do better to support neurodiversity?
Well, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start where you are. Start with what already works. A few things that can change everything. Create a sensory and emotional sanctuary at home. A cozy corner to just reset without shame, no punishment. Support the nervous system, not just the behavior. Instead of saying calm down, as you said, say, I know this feels big. That's okay. I'm right here with you. And let me tell you, that one still works on my 23-year-old, and now it works with a 9-year-old. So that one right there is huge.
Yes.
Don't say calm down. And celebrate the tiny wins, because the tiny wins are actually the big ones. These aren't clinical strategies. They're what actually helps kids feel safe and succeed in real homes.
Oh, yeah. And what's interesting, and I think I attribute it to the somatic coaching. And basically somatic just means like learning how your body's telling you what's going on. Is that for me, when I feel overloaded, overstimulated, just I can't cope, upset, my husband knows I just need him to give me a hug and just hug me and just say, you're doing amazing. It's all okay. So like, think about this. Like, this is like language that you can use with your spouse, right? Or maybe you have someone in your life that you've been perceiving them a certain way. And so this is just a really great opportunity to ask ourselves, how can we do better? How can we do better with handling how people respond to things and be respectful, and create space for people to just be, right? As long as they're not hurting anybody. I think that's really what this is all about. So, by the way, if you guys are just jumping on, Team Gold Digger, can you guys drop the links for the paperback and the Kindle? Y'all, if you are on replay, especially because we might not see your comments, can you, or so you guys know, you have to copy and paste the URL probably. It's going to take you to Amazon for her book. It's going to look like this. What's going to happen for you is when you grab the paperback or the Kindle, either or both, the Kindle is free. And feel free to download the Kindle, even if you're going to read the paperback. It'll help Vanessa out today. The Kindle's free today only. And this is what you're going to get. After you grab it, I want you to comment and say, I grabbed the book. So Vanessa, will you go back through the comments after? And okay, she'll reach out to you, and this is what she's going to give you guys. This is incredible. This is the value of this is hundreds of dollars. She's going to give you the Mama Toolkit. Okay, how to nurture your child's passion without losing your sanity. The Mama Festo Mindset Reset. We all need that. The Independence Builder Kit. Choose Your Calm. The Playroom Blueprint Pack. The Mama Self-Care Survival Kit. The Book Basket Blueprint. The Calm Mama Reset Kit. Meltdown Reset Plan, one-page advocacy snapshot. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much stuff. Okay, thanks, April. Appreciate you. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to grab the paperback. You are going to grab the Kindle or both. Remember, Kindle's free. You can share this live out with your audience. If you have entrepreneurs in your audience, parents in your audience, moms in your audience, I don't know, people in your audience, share this. You can just hit that share button. And then what you're going to do is you're going to let Vanessa know that you grabbed the book. So depending on where you see this, because we're streaming on a lot of places, comment, but also you can always reach out to Vanessa. So she's on Instagram and she's also on Facebook. You guys can DM her and just say, hey, I grabbed the book. And she will send you over the Mama Toolkit. So that way you guys can enjoy that. And also leave a review. It's hard to get reviews when you write books. So just help her out because I know my audience and you guys are so supportive. So final question, if someone reads this book and whether they're a parent, teacher, or they're neurodivergent themselves, what do you hope changes for them afterward?
If they themselves are neurodivergent, I hope they walk away knowing they were never the problem. If they're a caregiver for an ND kiddo, young or old, I hope they walk away feeling heard and understood and empowered. This book hands you a brand new story, one where different isn't a deficit, it's your superpower. When you stop trying to fix what makes a child different and instead understand it, you parent differently, you teach differently, you show up differently, you stop shrinking, you start advocating like the badass your kiddo knows you already are, and you raise a kid who knows who they are and they're proud to own it.
I love that. We have somebody on LinkedIn. Please drop links. Yes, Joy, we will get those to you. Awesome. Okay. So yes, like parent differently, teaching differently, showing up differently. And don't you all like, let's just breathe in and breathe out. Like, doesn't it feel good to just normalize this conversation? That's what we need to be normalizing, is talking about neurodiversity, and that it's celebrating neurodiversity and that being different is a good thing. And it's funny, there's certain things from when I was growing up that I remember thinking, but none of the adults in my life were telling me this, or other people. I remember thinking, people would say, you're so weird. I always heard that all the time. You're so weird. And now I'm like, I'm so glad I'm so weird. But I remember thinking, I know I'm weird because I don't want to be like you. Like, I was just different, but it was considered weird. That wasn't good growing up. You were supposed to fit in the mold, right? And you even think about like our education system. It's like, stand in a line, be quiet, put your hands behind your back, all the things. And, what's really powerful about this is we've seen that doesn't work, in our education system. It doesn't work. We're not thriving, with here in America, at least. And so I think this is really cool to start to have this conversation of, wait a minute, like what we've been doing isn't working. So how can we help students learn in the way that's best for them? How can we celebrate their differences? How can we make being weird cool? And seeing that when your brain works differently, then you will do things differently. You will think of things that other people haven't thought of. And that's actually how we can change and make the world a better place. It is truly a superpower. And that's what that comes down to. So again, celebrating you, Vanessa, on creating this book, writing this book, being the mama, the badass mama that you are, being an advocate for your children, and helping these other moms out there, or those of us that didn't have a tool like this to understand ourselves better. Thank you so much for writing it, and congratulations.
Thank you. And you actually said my favorite word, weird. My 23 and 9-year-olds, those are 2 of 5 kids. We all have very big personalities, different levels, ADHD, some different things here and there. But we have our family motto is embrace your weirdness.
Oh, that's a great family motto. Every day when your kids get home from school, you'd be like, what did you do that was weird today? You know, I literally do not want them to be like everybody else. It's like literally my objective. So you're speaking my language. That's awesome. No wonder we clicked right away when we were talking about this, because I've known it from childhood. And again, I'm glad that I was able to embrace my weirdness and realize that it's a good thing. I hope that others do as well. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming out and supporting Vanessa. Grab the paperback, grab the Kindle. This is the name of the book if you want to look it up. We put the links in here, but if you're on another platform, Neurodiversity Is Our Superpower by Vanessa Moyer. You can see her name on the screen. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback today. You can also get the Kindle for free. So there are no excuses. And then when you grab it today, all you have to do is shoot her a DM or comment on the feed here and let her know you grabbed the book, and she will send you the Mama Toolkit. And it's jam-packed with resources to complement what you're going to learn in the book as well. So again, congratulations, Vanessa, celebrating you. Thank you. You are so welcome. Thank you guys for being on today and supporting Vanessa Book Launch Day. Congratulations. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you soon.